Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Trading Bitcoin with your host, Tone Vase. It's getting late here in Bucharest, so I just wanted to do a quick show. I wasn't going to do a show at all today, but then I noticed that Bitcoin pumped, so kind of have to do a show before I go to bed. I fly again tomorrow. I am off to Cluj to speak at a conference tomorrow. So let's go straight to the charts. Where am I here? Here we go. So at the moment, there are no current workshops up for sale. Taking a break from those, not going to be happening for a little while. Check out the calendar as to where I am traveling. I will be off to Cluj uh, for a conference there, TC Conf. So go ahead and check that out. You can find the link right here for that conference. All right. After that, I'll be in London, and after that, in Bali. Okay. Conferences. Speaking of Bali, we're pretty much done with it, actually. Like after this week, I won't be advertising it anymore. Though after this week, I'll probably be going there. But we're pretty much done. I mean, if you really want to come, I mean, you can email us, but I'm not expecting anybody else to come. But we have a really good crowd. So I might even do another one in 6 months. All right, let's look at charts. Here's the weekly chart. Now the candle has gotten a lot better looking than it was yesterday. Yesterday, this was already a bullish candle. This is now a more bullish candle, and it currently sits above the 30-period moving average and the Fibonacci line. This is exactly what I'm looking for, but I'm looking for it to close here. It has to close. Today's Wednesday, half a week still has to go. Now, what can happen in a half a week? Well, the price of Bitcoin could be above 10,000. The price of Bitcoin could also be below 7,000. Uh, Anything can happen this week. This is why we wait for weekly closes in order to evaluate Bitcoin on a weekly scale. If this candle closes the way it looks right now, that's starting to get bullish. I still trust my sequential. It's on a 7 of 9, and I want to see if we can get to that 9. To get to a 9, we have to close lower than the close of the 5 candle. The close of the 5 candle was just above $8,000. So let's see what happens there. Right now, on this weekly scale, technically it's still bearish, but very slightly so. Uh, and we just went up a lot in the last couple of days, and the probability that it keeps going up without a pullback is small. Let's see where it closes. So right now, the weekly chart is still bearish, but very, very slightly. This could turn bullish, but there still needs to be more strength. The daily chart, so this blue line, if I have to guess at what this blue line represents from yesterday's video, because I didn't go back and rewatch it, this represents a potential stop loss if you were short in this area. And this is also a green 2 going above a green 1, which on a daily scale activates the long trade. Would I be in a long trade right now? Probably not. I am not comfortable with this long trade. We are still below the 200-day moving average. We need to close fully above it. Okay. Also, we just pumped a lot, and I always look for a pullback. Now, was this pullback sufficient enough from the $14,000 zone? I have stated this many times. This pullback is technically enough, but I don't like this bottoming process. And that is why at the moment, I am still expecting slightly lower lows. That doesn't have to happen. What I expect from the charts doesn't have to happen. Right now, we have the short-term moving average, which on a daily chart for me is the 50 period, is now trending down. And right now, it's in the vicinity of the bottom of the triangle. Now, look at this green arrow. When we fell down to the 200-day moving average, I had expected us to bounce into the bottom of the triangle. When that did not happen and we fell lower, we then bounced to the bottom of the 200-day moving average. And I then expected it to, well, I didn't have the strength to get back to the bottom of the triangle, so it's time for it to go lower. But maybe it does have the strength to get to the bottom of the triangle. That doesn't mean that the bull market is back, okay? To me, I was always skeptical of this run-up, and I remain skeptical of that run-up to this day. And the first things first, right? Stages. Stage number one, get above the moving average. Stage number two, get a full candle above the moving average, the way we did right here with this candle below the moving average. After that, get to the top of the triangle and to the 50 period moving average and try to break it. The 50 period moving average has not been all that relevant. The 128 day has been significantly more relevant. Might take a little time for that to turn over and start to trend down. So let's see what the price can do here. For the moment, according to sequential, you buy green twos above green ones. So those that do trade sequential and know how to trade sequential, you could be in a long trade as of whatever price that is, 8,350, right? Make that 8,000, yeah, 350. That activates the long trade on a daily scale with a green two above a green one. Now that happened before. That happened at about the same price about a week ago, right here. A little smidge higher, maybe 83.75. And that candle ended up going above the 200-day moving average and failing, and then going back down to ultimately below 7,800. So you don't know if the same thing can still happen. Now, we only have 3 hours left in the day, so the chances of this pulling all the way back down to 8,000 is very, very low, or even 8,300 is low. So this looks like it's going to end as a big bullish candle. What's my volume looking like? Not that impressive. Oscillators, well, BitMax funding rate on this version is positive again, and on the other version, it's actually not sure. Excuse me, guys. Had to sneeze. Couldn't mute in time. And yeah, so what do we got? It's kind of neutral to me right now. It really, really is. Would I rather be in a long trade right now than a short trade? I'd rather be in cash than in a long trade. I certainly wouldn't want to be in a short trade right now. The short trade certainly got you out. Like the short trade should have stopped you out by now. So you're definitely not in the short trade. It's a toss-up between long trade and being in cash. That's a strong candle, but it's nowhere close to where we fell from, right? So it has room to go. So I put this channel in last video, and I said, as long as you're in this channel, you're neutral. Now, looking back at the 12-hour chart, the sequential did very well. You had a sequential 13, followed by a 9, followed by an aggressive 13, and that marked the bottom pretty damn well. And now we're up. We're at a 5 of 9 on a 12-hour, and let's see if that can get you into a 9. This shadow has started to form, and it's pretty big. But unless this shadow is half the size of the candle, it doesn't really mean all that much. It's still a bullish candle. But if this shadow gets you down below this purple line, it then becomes something of interest. For the moment, this looks like a breakout, but it still has a long way to go before I am comfortable with announcing that I'm anticipating greater than 20,000. Also the halving, right? Like until anything goes this year. Next year, I'll probably be way more bullish than I am this year. The 4-hour chart also, see, here's a declining line on a 4-hour chart. So this can really keep going. Let me see. Oops, wrong thing. You know, this channel is still relevant. So even if Bitcoin rises here, this is the 4-hour chart. Even if it keeps rising, it still is going to have a problem with this channel. You're still going to have a problem breaking above this channel. So let's see if it does. All right, that's pretty much it. Not going to look at short term. I don't really care. No, I don't really care. Ethereum, don't care. B-Trash, don't care. Gold. Gold is still consolidating. Bearish candle. Not much. Silver. That's a bearish candle in the making. Oil. Not very useful. Just consolidating. S&P. So you guys remember what I said yesterday. Yesterday's candle was worrying me, but look at today's candle. Today's candle is nice and bullish. So we're back to, I mean, nothing's changed from yesterday, but I may move this line up. Like if tomorrow we fall below this red line, that's when I want to exit the S&P. So we continue to make higher lows. This is the one slight anomaly, but everything else. Sorry guys, I'm tired. It's like past midnight. It's time to go to sleep. And once we fall below this red line, then I think the S&P is in trouble. But if as long as we continue to make higher lows, even if they're slightly higher, that's still, you have to assume bullishness here. So tomorrow, if the stock market breaks out, that's huge. And then I think it goes back to the upside. All right, guys, that's it. I don't want to look at the stocks. I want to go to sleep. It's been tomorrow morning, I have a flight. Maybe I'll do a show from the airport. But other than that, that's the update. This was a nice pump. It's a good start, but we're gonna need to get above 10,000 in order to officially declare a higher low. And this still makes me uncomfortable. I want this low to be in the vicinity of 5,000. Like come down and touch the 200-week moving average is what I really want to see in order to have a sufficient buy the dip situation. May not happen, but it still can. Stop and reverse points are still telling you to stay short. The Fibonacci lines aren't helping you right now, and the sequential is telling you to stay short. And you're going into a death cross right here in a couple of weeks with the 9. So we'll see what happens. All right, that is it for me. All right, guys, time to say goodbye, and I'll see you all on the next one.